But when the shoe is on the other foot and Democrats are the victims of violence, they're gleeful. Or at the very, very least, they're silent. One thing that we have absolutely learned unequivocally with no question in mind is about what motivates Republicans in the wake of Charlie Kirk's assassination, what they prize, what they find important, whose lives they believe are important, are worthy of recognition or memorializing. We're going to be talking about Mike Lee in this. We're going to be talking about Don Jr. in this. We're going to be talking about Laura Loomer in this. But let's start with Mike Lee. You'll remember just a couple of months ago when Melissa Hortman and her husband, politicians in Minnesota, were assassinated at the hands of a right-wing evangelical Christian. The alleged shooter, Mr. Belter. And Mike Lee, what was the tweet he put out? I was going to show this afterward, but let's just put it up now. Nightmare on Wall Street, as he mocks the incident that took the lives of two human beings and their dog. Mike Lee, Senator Mike Lee from Utah. That wasn't good enough. He followed it up with this zinger. This is what happens when Marxists don't get their way. Again, lying, like in every other case that violence happens, lying that the shooter, the right-wing, lifelong Republican, evangelical Christian missionary, was a Marxist. Well, when the violence came home to Utah, Mike Lee wasn't sending out snarky tweets, making jokes about nightmare on Orem Street, nightmare on Kirk Street. None of that from Mike Lee. Because Mike Lee is a lying, hypocritical clown, a heartless, fake Christian. And I don't mean fake because he's a Mormon and that's not a real Christian religion. I mean fake. Because now it's all thoughts and prayers, my brother, Charlie Kirk, thoughts and prayers. Now it's teary responses. Admonitions for calm. Oh, where was all that when it was a Democrat, Mike Lee? He tweeted this. This is Mike Lee assassination Charlie Kirk edition. I am tracking the situation in Utah Valley University closely. Please join me in praying for Charlie Kirk and the students gathered there. A little different sentiment from the senator from Utah. I wonder why that would be. He was in the hallway being asked questions about this, and I want you to see his face and the tender emotions that he's feeling, the deep sorrow that he has. On the verge of tears, Mike Lee is. It's not when Marxists get their way, but it's a little different than that. Watch this.
How this should be remembered.
He had boundless energy, he had great love for his country, whether you agree with Charlie Kirk or not. Go on record saying I agree with him. Sure, I could identify, if I went through enough things, some obscure issue where we didn't agree, but I can't think of one right now. But whether you agree with him or not, you have to respect his boundless energy, his commitment to making the world a better place, genuine decency and respect that he showed to other people, even while disagreeing with them, even while they were yelling at him. I don't think I can remember ever seeing him respond back to hatred with hate, or with anything other than respect. And he had the ability to explain complex concepts to people in very simple, understandable terms, even people who hadn't historically been involved in politics or historically thought of themselves as conservatives or one way or another. And I think that's his legacy. And it's a legacy that's been cut far too short. My heart just grieves for Erica and for Charlie and Eric as children, the people who loved them were many.
Where was that range of emotions for Melissa Hortman and her husband? Or when any other right-wing political violence came to bear on the heads of the nation? Mike Lee, where was that? The son of the president, same kind of deal. I'm not going to read this entire long tweet. We'll just give you a couple of sentences. But he had this to say: "This isn't my strong suit, and I don't even know how to begin to put into words the loss I'm feeling right now over the assassination of Charlie Kirk. Charlie wasn't just a friend. He was like a little brother to me and to millions of people around the world. He was a true inspiration. He was one of the most courageous, principled men I've ever known, and he lived every day with purpose. His faith in God was unshakable. His love for Erica was inspiring. And the way he adored and cared for his two beautiful kids showed the kind of man he truly was. Charlie dedicated his life to something bigger than himself. He fought tirelessly for this country, for the values that make America great." Don Jr. probably believes that. What I'm saying is, I believe that to be genuine from Don Jr. So was it genuine when he posted this in response to a politically motivated attack? "I got my Paul Pelosi Halloween costume ready." Paul Pelosi has permanent traumatic brain injury, celebrated by the president's son, Donald Trump Jr. He's wrought with emotion over his team, but celebrates gleefully when an octogenarian is attacked by an unhinged, conspiracy-driven psycho in his home. These people aren't to be taken seriously. They're hypocrites. Chief hypocrite, maybe, Laura Loomer. She had this to say about Charlie Kirk's assassination: "Charlie Kirk's death will not be in vain." A little ominous. "I will be spending my night making everyone I find online who celebrates his death famous with a capital F for some reason. So prepare to have your whole future professional aspirations ruined if you are sick enough to celebrate his death. I'm going to make sure you wish you were never opened your mouth. These people need to be condemned in society, and there must never be a place for these people to gather without facing the shame of their behavior." Is that right? Is that right? What was it you said in the wake of a politically motivated attack, Laura Loomer? This little New York Post article: "Dear Abby, my wife keeps trying to have sex with me. I can't take it anymore. Was this written by Nancy Pelosi's husband before the hammer attack?" Maybe you're right. Maybe these people, meaning you, Laura Loomer, need to be condemned in our society, and there must never be a place for these people, you, Laura Loomer, to gather without facing the shame of their behavior. Now, this isn't a politically motivated attack, but it's certainly a touchstone of violence in our culture, where she said, "Congratulations to George Floyd on being 5 years sober." And yet it strains credulity for her to make this vacuous, empty, hypocritical statement about ruining people's lives who celebrate tragedy, who celebrate political violence. And the reason I bring up Laura Loomer, somebody like, she's just a troll, who cares what she says? She's got the ear of Donald Trump. People have lost their jobs in the military, in our intelligence infrastructure, in the federal government, at the behest of, at the word, on the charge of Laura Loomer, who is in the ear of our idiot president of the United States. So look, I don't know what the overarching motivation of this particular set of thoughts is, but let me tell you, Mike Lee is not to be taken seriously. Should he be sad because someone he knows and loves died? Yes, yes. Should Charlie Kirk have been shot? No, certainly not. I've condemned it over and over and over and over because it's wrong. It's self-evidently counterproductive. But when the shoe is on the other foot and Democrats are the victims of violence, when the other side is subject to assassination, they're gleeful. Or at the very, very least, they're silent about it. They're not serious, but they are seriously dangerous because there are people who follow at their whim, are motivated by their words, are impassioned by their conspiracies and their lies. I invite you to this conversation. Let's have it in the comments below the video, wherever you may be watching it. You can also call the voicemail line 714-576-4054. And of course, as always, you can email me daily@dollemore.com. I love and appreciate you very much. Wrap your arms around somebody. Look, I haven't talked about this at all today, but if you're still on the Nazi Twitter, get off Twitter. No more evidence that it is an absolute cesspool than the fact that that video of Charlie Kirk being assassinated, the gory, murderous, disgusting video, is just on a loop on thousands of profiles. It's just very troubling. Anyway, I appreciate you very much. I'll see you next time. Be genuine. Take care of one another.